Nobody expected a shopping mall to become one of the biggest tennis stories of the year. Yet that is exactly what happened when thousands of Filipino fans rushed to secure access to Alex Eala's homecoming fan event at Glorietta. Within hours, social media exploded with one claim repeated everywhere: "It's already sold out." Technically, nothing had been sold at all. The event was completely free. But that only made the moment even more unbelievable. Registration filled almost instantly because an entire country wanted the chance to stand in the same room as its newest sporting icon. That single moment revealed something the tennis world had been slowly realizing throughout 2026. Alex Eala was no longer just another rising player chasing rankings. She had become a national phenomenon capable of drawing crowds usually reserved for championship celebrations. Every tournament she visited left organizers scrambling to handle the demand, and now that same energy was returning home to Manila. But the packed mall wasn't the real story. The real story was why millions of Filipinos suddenly believed this 21-year-old represented something much bigger than tennis itself. And once you look back at everything that happened over the previous 6 months, the answer becomes impossible to ignore. Only days before returning home, Alex Eala had written another chapter in Philippine sports history on the grass courts of Wimbledon. She became the first Filipina ever to reach the round of 16 at a Grand Slam, a milestone that instantly elevated her from rising talent to national hero. Along the way, she stunned the tennis world with a straight-sets victory over defending Wimbledon champion Iga Swiatek, proving her biggest wins were no longer surprises. Although her remarkable run ended against Jasmine Paolini in 3 hard-fought sets, fans didn't remember the defeat as much as they remembered how fearlessly she competed. Instead of leaving London disappointed, Eala boarded her flight knowing she had changed the way the world viewed Filipino tennis forever. What happened after she landed showed that her biggest victory hadn't happened on center court at all. It was waiting for her thousands of miles away in Manila. But the airport reception was only the beginning. When Alex Eala walked through the arrival gates at Ninoy Aquino International Airport, it no longer looked like an ordinary airport terminal. Hundreds of fans packed every available space, waving Philippine flags, holding homemade signs, and chanting her name long before she appeared. Officials from the Philippine Olympic Committee personally welcomed her home, while cameras captured emotional moments between Eala and supporters who had followed her journey for years. This wasn't simply a celebration of one tournament result. It was the release of years of hope from a country that had been searching for its next global sports superstar. For many Filipinos, Eala represented more than victories and rankings. She represented proof that someone from the Philippines could compete with the very best on tennis' biggest stages. But while her popularity exploded at home, something equally incredible had already been happening around the world. Long before the Glorietta fan event, tournament organizers had already noticed a remarkable trend. Wherever Alex Eala played, crowds followed. During the Dubai Tennis Championships, her matches attracted packed stadiums from the opening rounds. At Indian Wells, thousands of fans remained inside the venue late into the night just to watch her compete, while practice sessions drew crowds comparable to established superstars like Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. Earlier in Australia, tournament officials underestimated her popularity and assigned her to a smaller court, only to watch spectators fill every available space around the fences. Even fellow professionals began talking openly about the atmosphere surrounding her matches. Coco Gauff praised the incredible crowds, while Novak Djokovic described the overwhelming support as a good problem to have. Those comments confirmed what many fans already believed. Alex Eala wasn't simply building a fan base. She was creating a movement that few players in modern tennis had experienced. But with that kind of attention came a challenge no ranking could measure. Winning matches is one thing. Carrying the expectations of an entire nation is something completely different. Throughout tennis history, only a handful of players have experienced that level of responsibility, and many have admitted it can become emotionally overwhelming. Every victory creates higher expectations. Every defeat becomes national news. Eala now finds herself living in that reality at just 21 years old. Every practice session is watched. Every interview is analyzed. Every tournament becomes a source of hope for millions of fans. Yet those closest to the sport continue praising her calm personality despite the spotlight growing brighter each month. That composure may become one of her greatest strengths because the schedule ahead offers no time to slow down. And after the emotional homecoming, another major challenge is already waiting. The celebration in Manila may feel like the end of an incredible journey, but for Alex Eala it marks the beginning of an even bigger chapter. After the Glorietta fan event, her attention immediately shifts back to competition with the DC Open, followed by the Canadian Open, Cincinnati, and finally the US Open. Those tournaments will determine whether her Wimbledon breakthrough was just one unforgettable run or the start of a permanent place among tennis elite. Opponents now prepare differently when they see her name in the draw because they know exactly what she is capable of. The surprise factor has disappeared. Every match from now on will come with greater pressure and tougher expectations. But something tells us that pressure may only fuel her rise even further. What makes Alex Eala's story different isn't only the trophies or rankings. It's the impact she has already created beyond the court. Young children across the Philippines are picking up tennis rackets because of her success. Local clubs are reporting growing interest, and sponsors are investing in the sport like never before. Many sports journalists have compared the excitement surrounding Eala to the early rise of Manny Pacquiao, not because their sports are the same, but because both inspired national pride on a global stage. Around the tennis world, legends, current stars, and respected analysts continue praising her fearless style and the incredible support she receives from Filipino fans. The entire sport has started paying attention, and that attention only seems to be growing stronger. But perhaps the most remarkable part of this story is still unfolding. The Glorietta fan meet was never really about meeting supporters. It became the moment that proved just how dramatically Alex Eala's life has changed in less than a year. Not long ago, she was quietly fighting through tournaments, trying to climb the rankings one match at a time. Today, she returns home as one of the most talked about young stars in world tennis, welcomed by thousands of fans who see her as much more than an athlete. Every standing ovation, every packed practice court, every sold-out session, and every chant of her name tells the same story. The Philippines hasn't simply discovered another successful tennis player, it has embraced a sporting icon capable of inspiring an entire generation. What makes this moment even more remarkable is that Eala's rise isn't built on one lucky tournament or one unforgettable upset. It's the result of months of consistent performances against some of the biggest names in tennis. From Dubai to Indian Wells, from Berlin to Wimbledon, she has continued proving that she belongs among the world's elite. Along the way, she has earned the respect of Grand Slam champions, tennis legends, tournament organizers, and millions of new fans around the globe. Every major event seems to create another headline, another unforgettable moment, and another reason for the tennis world to believe that her ceiling is even higher than anyone first imagined. Now the celebration in Manila gives way to the next challenge. The road ahead includes the DC Open in Washington, the Canadian Open, Cincinnati, and finally the US Open, where expectations will be greater than ever before. Every opponent will be prepared. Every stadium will be watching. Every match will carry the pressure of proving that Wimbledon was only the beginning. But if the last several months have shown anything, it's that Alex Eala rarely backs down from the biggest stages. If Wimbledon introduced Alex Eala to the global tennis audience, Manila confirms something even bigger. She no longer represents only herself every time she walks onto the court. She carries the hopes, pride, and dreams of an entire nation that believes its greatest tennis story is still being written. The cheers waiting for her at Glorietta weren't celebrating the end of an incredible journey, they were welcoming the beginning of a brand new era. And if her rise so far is any indication, the most unforgettable chapters of Alex Eala's career may still be waiting just around the corner.